very, very interesting to me as we've been looking at Psalms 37. And what's been interesting to me is how David is differentiating between the unrighteous and the righteous. He gives some descriptors and he gives their fate. It's just very interesting to me. I started just kind of looking at the differences between the two and kind of the fate of the unrighteous and some of the descriptors that David uses of the unrighteous. And some of the descriptions there in the first 22 verses is they borrow and they don't pay back. They attack the poor and needy and hurt those who try to live right. They are laughed at by God and they plot against the righteous. And then a long list of their fate. They'll be cut off. They will be consumed. They will perish. They will be broken of the power. They will not be found. They will be destroyed. They will wither. They will soon die away. One verse 15 says they will stab themselves with their own swords. That's quite the list. These characteristics and the future of the wicked is not good. So this morning, I thought, well, let's take a nice little look at the descriptives and then the fate, the promises that are geared to those who place their trust in the Lord, the righteous. And let's kind of hone in on those. And let's just seek God's face about being a people that do the opposite of what David is talking about when he starts describing the unrighteous. And I think sometimes you can focus on who's not doing certain things and who's doing the most evil, for lack of a better description, to the point you don't think about your own life and you don't work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, and you don't have intentionality in your own heart. And today, let's look at some of these descriptions of the righteous and let's be intentional. So good morning to you. Another beautiful Monday. It's time for Coffee with DJ. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Coffee with DJ. This morning had a little sound problem, but I think I got it fixed here. And I'm just looking at some of the descriptions of the righteous versus the unrighteous. And we're looking at the righteous here this morning, and it's just so cool to see these descriptions here that David lays out. He's an older man as a king. He's kind of laying out some descriptions, some promises towards the righteous. The very first one, he says in verse, they trust in the Lord. The righteous trust in the Lord. They do good. That word, do good, that word good there is agreeable actions. So they do good. They have a sense of intentionality. They dwell in the land. That means they're living on purpose. They cultivate fruitfulness. They're focused on being fruit bearers. They want to do God's will. They delight themselves in the Lord. They're not just doing things with a sense of duty, but they take upon themselves to enjoy being in God's presence, to enjoy doing God's will. They commit their way to the Lord. They rest in the Lord. They commit their way to the Lord. They rest in the Lord. You have a sense of surrender with that commitment of their way. And then there's a deep surrender in that they rest in the Lord. They take God at his word, and they have a sense of Sabbath on their life. They don't fret. They don't get overly angry. They are gracious, and they give. That's the descriptions there in the first 21 verses there in Psalms 37 about the righteous. Then you go to the to the promises of the righteous. Verse 4 starts off, so they'll get the desires of their heart. If you're trusting the Lord, you're doing good, you're committing your way to the Lord, he can trust your heart. He will give you the desires of your heart. He will bring forth your righteousness. That means you will become who God has called you. You will become holy. You will become Christ-like. You will inherit the land. That means you will walk in your God-given purpose. You will walk into your God-given day. You will walk into what some people may say destiny. You will walk into your future. They will delight in abundant prosperity. There is prosperity that comes to those who cultivate fruitfulness and who delight themselves in the Lord. The promise there is you'll be sustained, those who do those descriptions. They have their days known by the Lord. That means there's a sense of God being with you, God being with you, having a plan for you. They have an inheritance that lasts forever. They spend eternity with God. They are not ashamed. Isn't that something we all struggle with at some point? Shame. And when you place your trust in the Lord, you do good, you dwell in the land, you won't be ashamed. And then go, the promise I was going to say, you will have abundance. And these are some great descriptions and promises of the righteous. And I think that's a great thing. And this psalm is what we call a wisdom psalm. Psalm 37 is written by King David. And it's believed that the psalm was written on the last days of his life as he's looking back and reflecting on his past experiences and gives guidance and instructions to the children of Israel, to the people of Israel. This psalm focuses on the theme of living a godly life and trusting in God's plan, God's sovereignty, God's promises. And you get to this point sometimes as believers where you can get so focused on what's wrong, you absolutely miss living your life the way the Bible says live it. And so David is emphasizing his overall observation in Psalm 37 up to 21 that we've read over the last several days is trust in God. That's where righteousness begins. That's where righteousness flourishes, through your trusting in God. That's the overall observation here. And we've been tracking through these last 22 some odd verses. And he's given a lot of advice. And the main advice is to trust God. And then the result that we find in verse 7 of 37, rest in the Lord. See, once you start trusting God, you have a sense of rest on your life, and you learn to wait patiently for him. And that's the goal, is that you are connected and abiding in the favor of God. You're abiding in the will of God. You are with the Lord. And now I can rest and be patient and trust in his sovereignty, trust in his love, trust in his providence. And this is the goal for the righteous. And you can become so distracted with what you call the unrighteous, what the Bible calls unrighteous, to the point that you're no longer doing the righteous thing. And the enemy loves to distract us and with negative things sometimes, bad news feeds, bad behavior of other people, to the point that you no longer are working at your own salvation. You're not resting in the Lord and waiting patiently for Him. And so I want us to focus on the scriptures. The New Testament version of this is Matthew 6:3, seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, and all these things that all those descriptors that we were reading will be added to you if you seek first the kingdom. That's how you obtain these promises over in the second column. Getting the desires of your heart, seek the kingdom first. Having your righteousness brought forth, seek the kingdom first. You want to inherit the land, seek the kingdom first. You want to delight in abundant prosperity, seek the kingdom first. You want to be sustained, seek the kingdom first. You want your days known by the Lord, seek the kingdom first. You want to have an inheritance that lasts forever, seek the kingdom first. You want to live a not ashamed life, seek the kingdom first. You want to walk in abundance, seek the kingdom first. And this is your goal as a believer. It's easy to get away from that. And as you start going through those 22 verses, David reminds us of the plight of the wicked, that they may be plotting, they may be planning, they may be scheming, they may look like they're winning. The plight isn't good. We saw their descriptions, right? We saw the descriptions of the evil, where their fate is going to be. And so we can take comfort in the scriptures, the fact that God is ultimately the one in control. And we can get comfort in that. And His plans will prevail. So as you get ready to head out, don't live with that secular idea that this is just another manic Monday. I don't understand what the deal is with Monday. And we've been taught to hate Monday. Don't live like that. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. You head into your workspace, you head into your ministry with the sense that God's got me. I'm seeking the kingdom. There's a sense that God is going to be fulfilling some things through me today. God's going to be using my hands, going to be using my voice, going to be using my feet for His glory. I'm totally surrendered to Him, and I'm making myself available to Him so He can use me to advance His kingdom. That's what we want our mindset to be today. Knowing some of these promises, man, that you look at those promises that we're going to get on the right side. I mean, it pays off. It's totally worth it to follow Jesus. It pays off. And it's totally worth it to follow Jesus, and it shouldn't happen any other way at this point. So I pray today that you can apprehend this day and live that godly life and seek Him above all else. We can be sure that He's going to take care of us no matter what the opposition throws at us. So get out there and let's get it done. I'm blown away by the amount of you that stay locked with me every day here at Coffee with D. God bless all of you. I do truly appreciate it. Sorry about the audio issues. I think we got that fixed. I'm sure you're hearing me now. God bless all of you. If it ain't kingdom ain't worth it, I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you is my prayer.